So today we're gonna dive into a case that's causing a bit of a stir online.
Yeah.
It involves this social media critic and a gospel singer, and it kind of raises a lot of those big questions, about like free speech and all that stuff, especially like in the digital age.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a pretty fascinating case, when you think about it. It's like this whole clash between how the law usually works and then the whole wild west of online commentary and stuff.
Exactly. So for our listeners who maybe haven't heard of him, let's start with Very Dark Man.
Okay.
Online, he's VDM.
Right, VDM.
He's become pretty well known for calling out things he sees as like injustices and stuff. And his critiques, they seem to really resonate with like a younger audience, the ones who are kind of disillusioned with the way things are,
Yeah, totally.
with like traditional power structures and all that.
Yeah.
There's even this one video where he says, he's like, we're not just going to sit back and let the powerful walk all over us.
Yeah.
We have a voice and we're going to use it.
He's not afraid to speak his mind, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
This what makes this whole case so interesting,
Right.
Like, his commentary, it's popular for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not always, how do I put this?
Yeah.
Diplomatic.
Yeah, sometimes a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where Mercy Chinwo comes in.
Okay.
She's this pretty big gospel singer, and she had this whole very public thing with her old record label, Mr. Easy.
Right, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so VDM being VDM, he weighed in on the whole thing.
And I'm guessing he didn't exactly hold back.
Not really. He basically accused Chinwo of like playing the victim.
Oh, wow.
And using all this emotional stuff to get people on her side.
So that's what led to the lawsuit.
Yeah, Chinwo decided to go the legal route and filed this criminal defamation suit against him.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's different from a regular lawsuit, right?
Exactly. See, with the criminal defamation thing, the state gets involved.
Oh, I see.
And if they find VDM guilty, he could be looking at fines.
Oh, wow.
Or even jail time.
Okay, so then how did it get to the point where there's an arrest warrant out for him?
Well, basically, VDM missed a court date.
Oh.
And that caused this magistrate court to issue a bench warrant for his arrest.
Okay, hold on, back up a sec. What's a magistrate court?
Oh, right. So it's like a lower level court.
Right.
They handle like the initial stuff in a case.
Gotcha.
And a bench warrant, that's basically like a legal order saying, hey, this person didn't show up, so go arrest them.
I see. But I read that VDM said he was out of the country at the time.
That's right.
And that he sent his lawyer to represent him.
He did, but the court said that wasn't good enough.
It does seem a little harsh though, doesn't it?
I can see why people are saying that. I mean, regardless of why he didn't show up in person.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that a lot of legal systems put a lot of importance on showing up to court. So not doing that can be seen as like disrespectful to the court's authority,
I get it. But on top of that arrest warrant, the court also said VDM can't post anything about Chinwo.
Right.
Or have anyone else do it for him.
It's a complete gag order.
Until the whole case is done.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit much?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a big restriction on his free speech rights.
It is.
And that's a big part of what makes this case so important,
Right.
It really makes you think about where we draw the line between someone's right to say what they want and when it crosses over into defamation.
Especially online.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of how this works across different countries.
Oh yeah, good point.
Like, if VDM really was overseas, it gets kind of complicated.
Right.
Can a court in one country actually stop someone from saying something if they're living in another country?
That's a really interesting question.
And this whole situation has blown up online too.
Oh, I bet.
Some people are really questioning the court's motives in all this.
Yeah.
They're saying there might be some bias going on.
Wow.
Especially VDM's followers, they're super vocal and they see him as this like champion for them.
I could see this.
So to them, this feels like a classic David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
Like a big, powerful artist using the legal system to silence a critic.
It does seem like there are way more questions than answers here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder what this means for online criticism going forward.
Yeah, like where do we go from here? What happens next?
It's a huge question.
Yeah.
Does online criticism, even if it's harsh, automatically mean you can sue someone?
Right.
And even if it does, where do we draw the line?
Like, how do we decide what's okay and what's not?
Exactly. This case could totally set a precedent for how these kinds of online fights get handled in the future.
So for everyone listening out there, we really want you to think about this. Does online criticism, even if it's really harsh, justify someone taking legal action? Where is that line between free speech and defamation? especially now in the digital age?
Yeah, it's not an easy question.
This case is far from over for you folks, and whatever happens could have a big impact on how we talk to each other and express ourselves online. So keep an eye on this one. Things are about to get even more interesting.
Definitely one to watch.